Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host
Chip. What's up, guys?
What's going on? What a great evening. What a great day. We got some good stuff queued up, some nice stuff lined up. Man, I can't believe it, dragging the G-Man in front of the committee, in front of the hearings. A lot of good stuff that we want to go through. But you know what? The one thing that is very obvious is that we're still on the hunt for clarity, because Ripple, XRP, Coinbase, Stablecoins. Gary, where does it end? Where does it end, Gary? Are they all cryptos? Gary, are all crypto securities? No clarity. But we're going to get into that and so much more. You ready to kick this thing off?
Let's do this.
Welcome to On the Chain.
All right, man. Big shout out to Hands Loaded. Appreciate you. Tony Morissette here with us 2 nights in a row. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. And Darcy all the way from Galway, Ireland. So, man, we got some stuff going on. Matt LaRoche bouncing in here and everybody else, all the great supporters here. Chip, I heard that there were some interesting dynamics going on in this hearing today. And I think you got one little short clip queued up, and then we're going to dig into some others. But this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great.
Yeah, I do have a clip. It's not that short though, Jeff, but it is worthy. And this was one of the brighter points of today's hearing. I had this queued up actually from the hearing, the actual. Here, let's see if we can hear it in here.
Look, I don't mean any disrespect to you.
All right, perfect.
You hear that?
Perfect.
All right, let's go.
I followed your career. You've had quite a career in public service. You've made a lot of money on Wall Street. I respect that. I honor that. But as to the people and the companies that you regulate as chairman of the SEC, do you consider yourself to be their daddy?
No.
Then why do you act like it?
I try to take the oath of office seriously, that the SEC is set up to promote investor protection and facilitate capital formation, and that which is in the middle.
Yeah, but why do you impose your personal preferences about cultural issues and social issues on companies and therefore their customers and their workers, like climate change and the Second Amendment? I mean, I'm sure you have personal feelings about abortion. Do you have plans to implement or impose those values on companies?
So I want to thank you for the compliment you gave me, and I've followed your career and have the deepest respect for you too, sir. I think that I am not doing that. I think what I've been trying to do is say, if investors want information about climate risk, and it looks like tens of trillions of dollars of assets under management of asking, we at the SEC have a role to put something out to notice and comment, do the economic analysis, and really see what investors are saying. It's really in that narrow set of chalk lines that we're operating.
Yeah, who's your daddy?
Senator Tester from Montana is recognized.
Oh, Jeff, it was absolutely just brilliant. Are you their daddy? Then why do you act like it? And why do you interject your personal opinions? And then he had every time Gary got a little bit nervous, he would go back to, and there was such political theater, especially when we'll talk later about Elizabeth Warren. It was like the cheesiest setup, like a skit you would do in school that went so poorly. It was so rehearsed and it was so foolish. It played so badly, but
it was really, he was so nervous. He was shaking. I get it. I mean, he's nervous he doesn't know what's going to happen, but it was the whole day of questioning. But for him to come out like that, he goes, "Do you think you're their daddy?" I mean, it's like I turned it on earlier this morning. You were hitting me up with some text, and I turned it on right when they started talking about the climate. I'm like, I thought I tuned into some financial stuff. Why are we talking about the climate? I don't understand what's going on here.
Well, I got to tell you,
that's not why you're here.
Yeah, I got to tell you another great spot. Tim Scott out of Georgia. He totally 100% nailed Gensler on his stupidity. I want to see if I got this spot queued up right here. And
All right, cool.
this is a brilliant little thing that he does, because this is going to play beautifully into the whole GameStop and the Robinhood thing. And listen to what he says here.
Seen from a policy position from you so far seems to may actually jeopardize that path to financial.
Hang on a second. Let me back it up a little bit here. Sorry. There he is. He starts when he gets nervous. He starts ha 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 and he's and Melendez was an absolute just as you would expect, a waste of time.
Gary position from you so far seems to may actually jeopardize that path to financial opportunity for the average American. I think back to my days in business when I was in the insurance and for a small time in the financial services business, that I would tell my clients oftentimes that there are really only three ways to create wealth in America. First is real estate. It's one of the reasons why we focus on the American dream is synonymous with home ownership. There's no question in my mind that the fact is that you build equity in your house and you're actually building equity in this nation. It's your share of the American dream that is so powerful and important that we focus on. The second way that you create wealth in this nation and experience more of the American dream is through having a business, and have that business grows and it becomes more profitable, and that net worth that you see accumulating is a part and parcel to the American dream. And then finally, it's having an equity position in the marketplace. And to the extent that we make it more affordable for the average person to invest in this marketplace, they have a chance to literally experience the American dream, to exceed their wildest imaginations financially. If you think back 32 years ago, do you have any idea what the percentage of American households that were investing in the stock market?
Well, we've grown, I mean, particularly in the last 10 years.
32 years ago, any idea what it was?
I mean, I don't know the specific number, but lower than today, about 10 points lower.
Good answer. So 32% of American households 32 years ago had access to one of the three streams that leads to creating wealth in this nation. And much of the reason why they had such limited access is because the fees to make a trade were so darn high. Imagine today the average stock price is around $119 with the S&P 500. If you invested in a stock in the 70s and 80s, your stock would have to increase to $139 before you made a penny, because you were using that increase to pay the transactional cost. Today, it's zero.
It's amazing.
So literally, you have a chance to invest in the marketplace because we've gotten rid of those high transactional costs. So as you said, today, the actual number of households that are able to invest in the market, 53% of households are invested in the market. Why? Because the price to get involved in the market plummeted. And so when we hear things like banning payment for order flow, it sends shivers down the spines of people who have waited for this day to come. 15 years ago, it was $15 or $20 to make your trade. Today, it's nothing. It literally, you have access to a market. If you're a rural America living in Saluda, South Carolina, or inner city Chicago for the first time, you have a chance to be in the marketplace.
Dude, that's an amazing statement.
Those opportunities could.
Right. He took him to task on that.
Man, it's interesting too, because he's questioning the head of the SEC on something that is so significant yet so basic. You know, years ago, what was the percentage of people invested in the stock market as it is compared to today? You know, so he was definitely off. You know, we're talking about 53% versus 33%. You know, he's a little bit off, but you'd think that the head of the SEC statistics, stats like that would just kind of roll off his tongue, right? He would know those types of things, because why? The chair of the SEC is there to protect who? The retail investor. So if he's there to protect the retail investor, you should know the basics, the very, bare bone basics, Chip. And he's hitting it so spot on. I mean, this is just, it's so poignant.
Beautiful.
One other point, and we talk about how you can draw an equal comparison to what Scott's saying here to the crypto space. So what's one of the things that we talk about a lot? Here you have 53% of the population invests in stocks. And we always say there are people that have come to the crypto space that have never invested in the stock market. For one reason, There's still, now with Robinhood and some others, it's free. Before, it was kind of moving in a direction where it's maybe $5, $10 a trade. But there's still, it's daunting. It's scary, intimidating, whatever. But even Scott's saying this is the first time people have invested in the stock market, retail invest, doesn't matter who you are. And we're saying the same thing about crypto. People come in, you got $5, put it in crypto. You got $20, put it in crypto. What stock are you going to move into right now and say, even on Robinhood, hey, I got $5. I got $10.
Right.
I'm going to put $50 a week into stocks, which you can do. Pick a couple, start accumulating and buying. You do the same thing with crypto, but that point, Chip, just resonates.
Look how he calls them.
It's everything.
So let's listen in again how he talks about the payment flow, and one of the initiatives that has made it so accessible to everyone. Let's listen to what Scott finishes with it.
Vanish away so quickly, and that is painful as a kid who grew up in poverty, who now has access to the market. 40% of the households in this nation who make less than $75,000 they're in the market. Why? Because it's affordable. We have to trust Americans to make their own decisions on their own investments, right, and not have a paternalistic 100% regime helping protect Americans because they can't figure it out for themselves. And I'm concerned about that. And my question for you is, what is your plan to ensure that the existing system and the potential for innovation within that system continues so that the average retail investor benefits from that and we don't see ourselves going backwards that leads to higher trade costs so that fewer Americans are able to invest their hard-earned money in the way that they see fit?
Senator, I'm sitting here thinking, one, how much my father, Sam Gensler, if he was alive today, would like you.
See how he placates every single time? This annoyed the daylights out of me. I'm just thinking about if my dad were alive, how much he would really like. Dude, answer the question. He does this. He's so cheap.
Because he would have agreed on your 3 points about real estate, start a small business, which he did. He never had more than 30 employees.
But you didn't.
You see how he makes it about himself? It's about him. Everything rolls back up to Gary. What?
But Gary never did.
No.
Gary never did those three things.
No, he didn't do any of it.
And instead, he's coming after those three. Not to say, hey, he didn't do well in stock, but it's interesting. He's targeting, his father, which is great. He also came out of poverty and built himself up, so he can relate. I'll give him that.
Cool.
But it's the way, he is definitely placating.
Yeah.
They used to toss us value line tear sheets and he'd say, what do you think of this stock? And he'd try to buy 50 shares of something.
Yes.
I couldn't agree with you more. In terms of the retail investing, I think that's a positive thing in America. And it was when I was a kid as well. On the cost, we can always do better. And what I'm saying is technology is driven down and competition is driven down the cost of, as you said, investing. But there's still a cost left. The payment for order flow, even if it's a couple pennies out, is a cost. It's buried behind the scene. What I've raised to the economists with Jessica Wachter and her whole team is, can we do better to have more competition, that orders compete with orders?
That's not what
rather than one wholesaler buying half of the retail flow in America. And so it's about trying to even do better in these great capital markets we have, but we can't take anything for granted. So I think we're more aligned than.
That's not it at all, Jeff. He's so full of it. No. He's so full of it, Jeff.
It's unbelievable, Chip. I mean, you read through the lines. He's like, he's placating. And he's going to say, hey, this is why I want to overregulate you. This is why I want to bring an end to it. This is why I want to decimate and go after Robinhood. This is why I threaten Coinbase with a lawsuit. This is why I'm labeling, stablecoins as securities, and it's just like, it's mind-boggling, Chip. I can't believe you just made that statement, right? It could be it's pennies, but maybe we can do better. People are investing in Robinhood, and it's basically free. Basically, there's money. Maybe the price point is a little bit higher on Robinhood than it might be on a different exchange. And so those fees are hidden, so it'd be nice to get a better understanding of how that works, because if they have that order flow on the back and the payments on the back end, are they inflating the price point of the stocks that are flowing through Robinhood to cover the trade? And do you end up paying more for a trade than if you were paying $5 or $10 on another platform? But $5 trades and almost free trades have been around for a while. Robinhood just changed it and made it even easier. It just everything unlimited, and it's amazing. And so if you're going to pay a couple bucks for simplicity, man, but I see some of the back end side, but that, man, he came out. It's amazing. I don't know how people do that. It's crazy.
Yeah, Jay sent us a good tweet by Charles Gasparino, which we'll get into a little bit later. Thank you for that, Jay. But Gensler was a bad nomination by Biden. I've yet to be impressed by anything Biden has done this far. Yeah, I think everybody's waiting for something to sort of happen. It just seems like everything is just pulling the wrong way.
And big shout out to Reg Mabry over here at Trial. Ripple to Clayton. Do you think you're our daddy? Answer the question. Did ETH hold an ICO? Why did you set it aside?
There's an awful lot of questions. I mean, and but I have to say that yesterday, Jeff, you and I speculated like, hey, what kind of questions are they going to get in there? I was actually pretty proud of some of the senators. They got some pretty strong questions, and Tim Scott calling him to task on the fact that if you noticed how he talked about the American people, the American dream, and he really positioned that the idea of it being accessible, and someone like a Gensler who was going against the payment flow and looking to almost squash it and crush it and bring us back into the old days where, remember, Jeff, when it was $15 a trade, you were psyched. You were like, $15 trades. You were like, wait, celebrate. And it was ridiculous. And Tim Scott just really calling him, and he didn't know what to do, so he had to go placate him and my father are alive and blah, blah, blah. But he didn't ask Jeff, what was all that stuff about we can do better? How are you going to do better than free? How are you going to do better than restricting the freedom of choice? And I also like when he said, a little bit earlier when he said, like, people know how to make their own. People, they don't need advice. Americans can invest the money the way they want. They don't need an overlord. They don't need, and almost in a sense, a big daddy, right? You don't need a big daddy.
Your daddy. Oops. James Rule. James Rule, who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy, James Rule? James' daddy is Rule. Says, Gensler, we have total clarity, but we need more funding. Hey, guys, XRP tip. Hey, James on the 589. James showing every single day exactly the use case every time he comes in here. I got to tell you, James Rule, I love it. Love you, man. We were kind of going back and forth. We were kind of laughing back and forth today. We were exchanging some messages today about some of the stuff going on there and the Kennedy stuff, man. That to me was an epic standout point when he called him. And we might have to go into that at the very end again, just because I love it so much.
That'd be awesome. BZ Comedy, we got to turn Gensler into a verb. I just got Gensler.
Oh, geez. Does anybody want him to be Gensler? What does that mean to be Gensler? To be Gensler. Jeff, I just got Gensler, right? But Jeff, I almost feel like, we would be remiss not to put on this political theater right here, because I wanted to jump into, I wasn't planning on doing this right now, but since I have it queued up on the screen, let's go ahead and put this up here, because this right here was an absolute hideous moment. This is Warren. Now, just pay attention to what goes on here.
We hear a lot about how crypto is all about financial inclusion, a way for people who don't have a lot of money to be able to manage it or invest it. Now, the banks have done a pretty lousy job on financial inclusion. So
Really?
I want to test out with you whether or not crypto is an improvement.
Gonna test it.
The crypto market tanked once again. the prices of Bitcoin and Ether each fell by about 10%, while a bunch of other tokens failed by as much as a third. So in a matter of hours, $400 billion in market value disappeared. Poof, just gone.
Poof.
Meanwhile, several of the biggest crypto exchanges had outages, which kept customers from making withdrawals or trades. So how did that affect people who don't have a lot of money to lose? Chair Gensler, let's say that last Monday, I took out the last sliver of my savings. I went on the crypto exchange Coinbase. I bought $100 worth of Ether. Then I woke up early on Tuesday morning. I saw that the market looked like it was beginning to tank, and I thought, I better sell right now. But when I tried to sell,
how would you know it's tanking?
Coinbase, the exchange, was down. So, Chair Gensler, was there anything I could do to get my money out?
How long ago was that?
Not at a federal agency because they haven't yet registered with us. Even
you see this setup.
They haven't yet registered. It was such a setup, Chip.
It was such a setup. It's such political theater. These two right here, I don't even have it. They've got some sort of a relationship going on. This right here, it's so obvious and so pathetic.
And she's not smart enough. She's not smart enough to have come up with that question herself. And it was such a softball. She's reading it, but it's such a softball to him. It was obviously prepared. Obviously, he already knew the question. He wrote the question. You know, they colluded on the question. They colluded on the answer. It's such nonsense. And granted, yes, were there issues with Coinbase? Did people in the industry get upset when they said, I tried to go into Coinbase and Coinbase was not accessible? People were upset about that. But her question, oh, you're going to see that it's about to go down. How do you know it's about to go down?
And who's going to panic sell, Jeff? Who's going to panic sell? You bought it one day, and the next morning you're, oh my God, I got to panic sell. Does this woman not understand? Well, it gets even more ridiculous. Let's listen in.
No, they have dozens of tokens that may be securities.
Yeah.
What about the stock market?
So that sounds pretty risky to me.
A panic sold in the stock market.
Hang on a second.
They haven't yet registered with us, even though they have dozens of tokens that may be securities.
Look at this. Look at how this is set up. Coinbase hasn't registered with the SEC, even though they have dozens of tokens, which may be securities. Well, why is that, Gary Gensler, if they're all decentralized? How can it be a security if it's decentralized, Mr. Gensler? Mr. Gensler is completely vacant.
It's more than that. You know, he's bringing, go back to Kennedy. So he's bringing his own personal opinion into the SEC from a regulatory perspective. And you're starting to get a glimpse into who this guy is, and not just him, because he's surrounded by the same mentality all over the place. You see, that they're little by little, they're chipping away at the fabric of what's making people successful. People finally get an opportunity to be successful, and they're chipping away at it, trying to make it worse. It's just like, what we're going to see going forward in a couple of years. We don't want to get political here in any way, shape, or form, but what just happened over in Afghanistan, we haven't even seen the beginning of how that's going to impact terrorism around the world. But they chipped away at our safety and security just a little bit, through organized chaos. And and this again, we're going to start seeing this orchestrated, organized chaos within the SEC, as we are with the infrastructure bill, as we are with it's all organized. And it's made to look like they don't know what they're doing, that it's chaotic. And that's how they kind of get around, this stuff. Oh, it's so chaotic. It's so chaotic. We don't know what's going on over here, and that's how they like it, as they're chipping away. And this is this just upsets me. It's crazy, because they're going after the retail investors.
Yeah.
They don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care. They just don't care. They're so above it, making their millions of dollars. And he's talking to a senator that cheated her way to the top. Cheated. Just like somebody that sits in the presidency cheated his way to the top, and nobody can dispute it. When you commit plagiarism, if you steal somebody's identity, if you steal that identity in order to get a position in school, and then on the law board, and then a job, these are the people that they're dealing with. So what?
They're criminals, Jeff.
It's it's mind-boggling to me. And people are saying, oh, don't get political and go down that path. But look at what we're up against right now, because here they are sitting in a hearing talking to this guy that supposedly taught at MIT about this technology, and look at what we're getting. What are we getting now? It's just like, somebody's got to stand up for the little guy. Someone's got to stand up and do what's right.
Hey, I want to do a shout out to Adam here. Adam from Silhouette Park Farm, which I watch his channel often. He and his wife. It's a great channel. You guys check it out. He says to be Gensler, to not answer a question with a long-winded non-answer, or to only answer pre-organized questions, or to enforce the rules nobody knows about yet. Adam, that is spot on, man. Ding, ding, ding. You get the gold star, man. That is beautifully well said. Thank you for that massive support. I can't thank you enough, man. And hope things are all great down under. I know you guys have your own sets of challenges down there, but thank you so much. You're right. But look at that, Jeff. To be Gensler, to answer the question with either a long-winded answer, which he doesn't answer the question, to only answer the pre-organized questions, which you can see that has been totally set up here, or to enforce the rules that nobody knows yet. But Gary will tell you that we got so much clarity. That's to be Gensler. Hey, a quick shout out to Backup Bradley. What is up, Brad Kimes? Coming on, showing a little bit of support over there on the Twitter. So there you go, Chip. There you go. Yeah. So I saw Alex was hitting me up. Alex Coining 203 was hitting me up. So let's listen a little bit here.
Yeah. Okay. So that sounds pretty risky to me. But let's say that instead of buying Ether on Coinbase last Monday, I decided instead to put that $100 toward buying a cool new token. Let's call it New Coin, that was being hyped on Twitter. Now, New Coin is available only on a quote unquote decentralized crypto exchange. So to buy it, I had to pay a fee, about $20 to the crypto miners who process the transactions. That's $20 to buy $100 worth of tokens. But I figured that was okay because Twitter told me that New Coin was going to make me a lot of money. But then, of course,
Twitter
I woke up on Tuesday morning.
She should have been on Reddit.
Tanking.
She should have been on Reddit.
Let's ask about this one. Chair Gensler, on Tuesday, when I wanted to sell New Coin and get back to dollars fast, that exchange had not shut down. But remember, I had to pay $20 on Monday to get into decentralized finance.
Why is she day trading?
So how much would I have had to pay to get out?
I don't understand why she's day trading.
To sell my coins.
Oh my God.
Would I have had to pay a second $20 fee, or might I have had to pay even more?
Pause this.
I don't know, because it'd be all in the user.
She doesn't know. Also, she's buying ETH, so she doesn't know why there's high gas fees, Jeff. This is another joke and a half. My goodness.
This whole thing is so stupid. It's so because she's talking about now she's day trading, right? I mean, it's like
she has no money, but she's day trading.
It's on. I don't have any money.
And panic selling.
But I'm buying tonight and I'm going to sell it tomorrow because I thought, and every one of her questions is day trade, 100% day trading, and now she's going to be doing trades all day long. And it's just like, it's so funny. I mean, it's so bizarre because you can make the exact same argument with the stock market, I mean, other than, so I've got my $100 and I go in the stock and it's hyping up because I'm watching Jim Cramer on TV and the media's there. Everybody's hyping the stock and the stock's at its peak and I buy into the peak. And the next day, all of a sudden, everybody turns negative and it just dumps over the cliff. And now I'm trying to sell and get out of the stock and my $100 just went down to 50. It's the same argument, but this is so insane.
It's insane, dude.
How stupid are they?
By the way, you put quotes around DeFi. I think that's helpful because they're really decentralized in name only. There's a user agreement. There's something you're doing with this platform. There's a governance token.
So this was open the door to go after DeFi, right?
That's it. Yep.
Wait a minute, Warren. Okay, one of the dumbest people in Congress. Let's just, from a standpoint, and I'm not talking about that she's not an attorney or she's not. I'm talking about when it comes to cryptocurrency. She's gonna go on a decentralized exchange. Oh, okay. Okay, sure. And then so now he's going to open the door saying there's a user agreement. There's a it's not completely decentralized. It's not. I mean, listen to this right here.
Usually,
I can barely get on
but I
a
don't know what the
decentralized.
particular fees would be.
Well, actually, we do know some of the fees from last Tuesday. The fee to swap between two crypto tokens on the Ethereum network was more than $500.
So she doesn't understand what gas fees are now, right? This is
no
another
idea what you're talking about.
dumber than a box of rocks. Warren, right? It was, Granny Warren is like, it was $500. Listen to her.
Obviously,
However-
way more than the $100 I was trying to trade in the first place. So the question I have is, in the face of these high, unpredictable fees, small investors could easily get jammed and wiped out entirely. Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market drops. Does
They
this
gotta
sound
be-
like the path to financial inclusion to you?
It sounds like you're trying to block it.
Of asset class. It doesn't sound like the path that you mentioned.
Yeah. You know, there are a
Oh,
whole list of problems with crypto: unreliable
other
tech, scams, devastating climate impact.
Unreliable tech.
But
Yeah.
high, unpredictable fees can make crypto trading
There we
really
go.
dangerous for people who aren't rich. Regulators need to step
Like you.
up to address crypto's regulatory gaps and ensure that we're actually building the inclusive financial system that we need.
Oh, like the
And
stock
Chair Gensler,
market.
I expect you and the SEC to take a leading role in getting this
and
done.
destroying it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator Daines from Montana is recognized.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
God, they're
This-
so stupid.
It was so leading. It was so pathetic. And she's like, I mean, come on, a $500.
Nothing.
And she says the tech is unreliable. There's so many scams. It's everything. I mean, she doesn't have a clue. She really is clueless.
Every so often my phone rings and I get this call from John over in Mumbai, and he's always asking me or he's always telling me that my social security number was stolen and there's a warrant out for my arrest. And God. All right, hey, big shout out to Rob McDermott. It's very interesting how ignorant they are portraying us all, or how ignorant they're portraying all of us to be. I'm all in on the XRP. Yeah, they want to make it sound like, oh, the poor little investor. Oh, they don't know what they're doing, and they need big government and Big Daddy Gensler to protect everybody. Because if it wasn't for the big government making sure that the small investor was okay, the small investor would not know what to do with their money. Didn't they just start out with Kennedy Scott talking about the 3 tenets of success, and now they're trying to undermine one of the tenets of success. Oh, but crypto's supposed to be all about inclusion. So we're going to shut it down. Not only we're going to try to make it more difficult in the crypto space, but we're going to try to take away Robinhood, and we're going to crush what is 80% of their revenues. And we're going to crush that because we can't have free trades and we can't have people supporting free trades. No, that doesn't work.
No, Jeff, you're right. You're 100% spot on. I mean, you know what? It's so weird. It's like for some reason, I did just queue up Cynthia Lummis, which I thought probably would have the more poignant crypto answers. I don't know. You want to listen in on her for a little bit?
Oh, hey, before we do that, I just want to throw this up. Let me get this up here real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go over 2 tweets. Hang on.
Let's take a little tweet break here, Jeff. But it was political theater here, for sure. Look at this. So Tony Morissette says Caitlin Long as a reputable lawyer in the space. I recall she once said that if the SEC let Coinbase go public with the current listed tokens, then this would mean Coinbase is not listed any securities. Yeah, good point.
Boom.
And boom,
Good.
exactly
Spot on.
right. Right on. Now
So-
they're gonna, but now in this hearing, he's saying that they didn't register with them because they are a lot of the coins that they do offer are securities. So Tony, it's sort of kind of bets off there.
All right, so here you go. Brad Garlinghouse. So earlier today, Chair Gensler insisted again in today's testimony that the security laws are clear and easily understandable for the crypto market, and then turned around and said Congress needs to write laws to clarify. So which one is it? Thank you, Senator Toomey, for being a voice of reason. And it's so amazing, we look at these things because, it's so crazy. Let me pull up and let me find the one. Oh, here it is. This is forecast. So you brought up Caitlin, and so check this out. And then we'll get, so SEC chair reiterates call for crypto platforms to come in and talk to us. So to Coinbase, right? What did what was Armstrong saying? Hey, we reached out. They said, no answer, no nothing. But when they finally did answer, hey, we're gonna sue you if you don't listen to us. But check out Caitlin Long here. This is like Caitlin Long, founder and CEO at Avanti Financial Group, said in a tweet, tone is negative, more so than his previous remarks. Something else interesting. Instead of stable coins, he's calling them stable value coins. Stable value funds are SEC regulated. So everybody's like singling these things out, right? And they're just, what's amazing to me is that they're so pompous, right? They're so pompous that they believe that they're the smartest people in the room. They really believe that. And here you have Caitlin Long, and then you've got, Brian Armstrong, and then you've got Brad Garlinghouse, and then you've got, we could keep naming the list. Then you've got John Deaton, right, going after the SEC. Then you have the entire XRP community, and then you've got those in the Bitcoin community and the Ethereum communities, so this whole, all of this, everybody's going to start rising up, right? At some point, and they're going to say, hey, you know what? Enough's enough. You guys are out of control.
No, exactly right, Jeff. Totally out of control. And, one of the things that Toomey really, and we'll get into it in a little bit, but Toomey really brilliantly positioned, he said, well, so I understand you're talking about how it's going to meet the investment contract prong of the Howey test. That's how we determine if something's a security. Now, what about a stable coin? A stable coin is pegged to the dollar, right? As far as value is concerned, there's no promise that it's going to increase. And Gensler still turned around and did his political theater with, but it could be it's a security. It definitely could be. And he's like, well, he just proved how could it be? It's pegged to a dollar. There's no promise that it's going to increase in value, right? And so how is that part of the investment contract? So this was what Garlinghouse was more or less alluding to, the fact that, like, thank you for being a voice of reason here. Thank you for basically illustrating the hypocrisy with Gary Gensler. And Gary Gensler, make no doubt about it, is an absolute fool. So I wanted to let me throw this up here. I want to, because I didn't hear this. This is the one, the Cynthia Lummis, great new senator out of, where is it, Montana, I believe. I wanted to hear this because I didn't hear this testimony today, so we're hearing it together.
Thank you for joining us, Chairman Gensler. It's nice to see you. Two questions. One is specific and the other very, very general. So I'll start with a specific. In your previous tenure at the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, you were an advocate of providing no action relief to regulated financial entities within your jurisdiction. Now, over the last few years, the SEC has not provided no action relief to innovators, in my opinion, nearly enough. The SEC has also provided 21A investigatory reports on matters of general interest under the Exchange Act. What would you say to innovators who are nervous about approaching the SEC? And how can you improve the use of no action relief in other public statements like 21A reports?
Senator, I thank you for that question, and thank you for our continuing dialogue about innovation. I do think that Congress gave the SEC important authorities, not only to do what you call no action letters, but exemptive authorities and the like. And so I have said, come in, whether it's in the cryptocurrency space or in other innovative spaces, come in, talk to us, and see if our rules for custody, for instance, which I know we've talked about, or transfer agents or something, don't quite fit because they were written in a bricks and mortar time and now we're in a digital time. let's talk about that. If we need to go to Congress, but maybe we can cobble together something. We did this in money markets in the 1970s. Good people in the state of Pennsylvania, Senator Toomey's state, came into the SEC and sought authorities to do money markets. And that's now a $5 trillion asset class. So I think there's room here to sort things out and try to figure it out, to keep things investor protection focused, but to sort out the new innovations.
Well, that's hard to get out.
And my adjunct question is the general question just about innovation. Do you support responsible innovation?
Oh my gosh, yes. I
And-
mean,
and-
it's brought us these lights in the room. It's brought us this ability to have a hybrid hearing with your fellow members. I mean, innovation is what supports access, economic activity, and gives so much of us better opportunities in life.
So given that, how do you right size the protections that are within your ambit to innovation generally?
No, it's an excellent question that I'm sure this committee grapples with decade after decade. I think it's the core public policy framework around ensuring that the public's not defrauded, that somebody's not misleading them and lying to them, to ensure that if you hold somebody's asset, you don't misuse it or abuse it, so to speak, the physical asset. And then on trading platforms, at the heart of our 1934 Act was that competition basically drives to more efficient market, and people don't manipulate that market, don't front run, for instance, in those markets. And
It's almost, Jeff, like the more he talks, the less he says.
Oh my God, I've lost track of where he's at. I'm trying to remember when we started. She asked about innovation, and he goes, "Oh, wow,
that's why we have the lights on in here." No, Gary, it's not why we have the lights on in here.
innovated lights."
It's
Like there's no innovation.
And I think that these basic tenets of anti-fraud, anti-manipulation, but pro-competition lower the cost of capital for companies raising money.
He's off on some tangent. She's asking him about innovation in the crypto space, and he's going off on capital markets and this and that. What he does when he gets nervous is he throws everything in the kitchen sink inside there to try to put some sort of an answer together, and it just comes off as gibberish. And again, it insults us. It doesn't hold up true to the core ideals of what the SEC is, which is to protect the retail investor. Although every once in a while he'll go like, well, protect retail investor, we're going to protect you. We don't need your protection. Yeah, come in and talk to us and get a Wells notice, and you'll be put on notice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can sum up everything that he just spent like 10 minutes saying. I'm going to sum it up in just like a split second. Ready?
Tell me. Yeah.
And you will respect my authority.
That's about it, Jeff. That's about it. You will respect me. I command respect. And who is this guy, right? So this whole thing, yeah. I mean, today, I mean, I was pretty happy though. I do think that Toomey got some good licks in. Kennedy got some good licks in. Lummis even trying to just ask him do you agree with this? Oh yes, well of course the lights are on. No, yeah. Gary, the lights are on. Nobody's home. Okay, that's the whole point. It's a vacant look there.
And Rob McDermott said, just ask the damn question. Are we chasing innovation offshore? How is the SEC going to help keep that from happening? Is anybody willing to ask that? So funny. Oscar says, what she actually wants to ask, why are you daft and how does it help innovators in specific terms?
No, that's pretty much it.
Man, spot on. So this was brought to us by J5 the Great, or JV.
And Jay, what do you go by in the chat? He goes by something different in the chat here.
Same thing.
JV, yeah. JV, J5.
JV, J5. I don't know if it's JV or J5. So you can let us know. But so this game, Charles Gasparino breaking. So one question I have for Jay Clayton, and calls are out to him. Why in your last days as SEC Gov Chair do you have a case like the one against Ripple, XRP? Maybe there's a good explanation. I should also point out the government revolving door is nothing new. So him working for a firm that is investing in competitive cryptocurrencies, i.e. Ethereum token, isn't illegal. Still, the timing is interesting. Seems like something you punt to new admin, as Stephen Mnuchin did with radical GSE reform story developing. And J5 came back and said, oh, Jay, it is JV, not 5.
Yeah, JV.
Says, great question. Here come the good guys finally. Okay, nice. See that? Steve and Chip. Got this one here. There's me.
So he just tagged us in there. So I always appreciate when you tag us and stuff like that too, because it helps us helps put it on a radar. We can't have it all there. So guys, when you do stuff like what JV just did, then keep doing stuff like that. And we did make sure it is JV. But you guys are always doing cool stuff like that. But the funny thing about it is it's a well taken point. It's like you did it on the way outside, and then next thing you know, you go work for the company who is, and not necessarily a competitor, but certainly the approved one, right? The in kids, the ones that are like the approved ones, because William Hinman sort of hinted around and a personal opinion, but it wasn't really his opinion at a Yahoo conference that he might have said that, well, maybe it was a security at one time, but then it decentralized. So a lot of this kind of stuff, Jeff. I mean, I wanted to throw up a tweet if I can find it here. Let me see if I can. That way we see if I can get it. But there was a.
I thought I brought this one over. I didn't.
Which one, Jeff?
No, while you're looking for that, let me just throw this in. This is big news here in Miami. So we heard some of the commentary from Elizabeth Warren. Why don't you just have the new coin? Well, why don't you have the Miami coin? Because the Miami coin, the city of Miami just decided to accept the gift that contributions generated by the Mine City Coins protocol, currently valued at $4.3 million, represents a major milestone in Miami's quest to become a crypto hub. So it says here, Miami Coin generated $4.5 million in just 40 days, much more to come, which got accepted by the city of Miami today. This would not be possible without a visionary, technologically progressive mayor like Francis Suarez. So Mayor Suarez is trying to merge and move Miami into the innovative realm to become the innovative capital of cryptocurrency. So now they were just gifted about $5 million in Miami coin. And so I wonder where they're going to spend it. But Miami is now $5 million richer.
At the casino.
Well, yeah, where else would you spend it? I mean, if you're gonna get it one night, the next morning you're like, oh, my Miami coin went down in value. It was like $100 yesterday. Now it's like 50.
Jeff, what about our Yeti coin?
Hard Rock.
We're gonna resurrect our Yeti coin and get a Yeti coin going again, because at least the Yeti coin's got to pop up, man. Because like the Yeti's an elusive creature, and that use case for that Yeti coin, man, it's still being developed. But look at this right here. So I thought this was just so ridiculous. XRP King Doggo, the fourth, says, hey, Gary Gensler, do some hair implants, man. Your head is embarrassment. Give us clarity on XRP. And we start a GoFundMe campaign for that bald head, and we send you to Turkey. I'm like, what does Turkey have to do with it? And why should Turkey be so unfortunate to get Gary Gensler's chia head? I mean, I don't understand that. And then this one here, this was great. This is Red. She says, I really get the impression that senators don't like Gary Gensler. I really get the impression. And Jeff, I got the same sort of impression today. It didn't matter in a nonpartisan format. Now, the only one that was crawled so far up his behind was Elizabeth Warren. I mean, she was crawling up there and wiggling around. And it was shameful, Jeff.
So wait, that's not the one I was trying to pull up. Hang on a second. Wait, Rob McDermott was saying Elizabeth wants to swap her new coin for Miami coin, but can't justify the gas fees. I wish we could get third base and we could just play the gas face. That'd be
the gas face. Oh, the third base gas face. Oh, that's awesome, Jeff.
If anyone's going to get the gas face, that'd be the two of them. So
third base, they would get it big time. So look at this. So Mr. B put out a really thoughtful tweet. He said, I'd like to formally request a list of the digital assets available on Coinbase that the SEC does not deem a security. I'm an American retail investor that you say you're here to protect. Here's your chance. So, and it's a brilliantly crafted tweet, because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Warren sets him up with, well, hey, what do you think about these fees in Coinbase? He goes, they didn't come in and register with us because a lot of the coins on their platform are probably securities. Jeff, where did that come from?
Right. Exactly.
I mean, where the hell did that come from? My God, that was like dropped in from outer space on like a, you know what I mean? It was so pathetic. And I love Mr. B calling them to the mat, like, hey, which ones are they? Come on. You're going to sit there and say that a lot of them are securities. Well, I want to know the ones that aren't securities by rightfully then letting me know by process of elimination which the ones on Coinbase are potential securities, right? And this is the part that I don't understand with any of this. This whole conversation we've gotten away from is about decentralization. When we think about decentralization, how can there be where's the security aspect of it? You could say, well, there's an investment contract and there's entrepreneurs and they get together and based on, the efforts of others, it's implied that there's going to be some sort of a profit. No, there's not. It's decentralized. Ripple tomorrow could go could announce, hey, you guys, we in the past, we told you we had 450 partners. I'm here proud to say that we now have added 500 in the last 3 weeks. Does the price change? Maybe. What does it have to do with anything? They just had a great sales effort. They just did a bang up job. But is that going to change the price of XRP? Maybe, maybe not. And guess what? It doesn't matter on the efforts of what they produce. There is no promise that there's going to be a better, that there's going to be some sort of an increase in price or expectation of profit. And this is where that everybody is like forgetting that it comes down to the decentralization conversation. And if it's truly decentralized, then why would any of this matter?
That's right. Exactly. I agree 100%. And now we got Doug over here. He said, so when do the people decide to stand up and say enough is enough? Again, nothing supersedes the Constitution. And I meant to there was a comment earlier on, and the comment was, well, what are we supposed to do? How do we take a stand? When does everybody come together? Something along those lines, other than being keyboard warriors. He's basically saying, how do we do it? How do we take a stand? Well, right now we've got 300 people watching, right? 300 people all over the world. Those 300 people are influential because you guys are the smartest in the crypto space on, right here on YouTube in this community, in the on the chain community. We've got a powerhouse of people, and, we'll get, a few thousand, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people, whatever, might watch this video. So be nice if it was 10, 20,000, but so what? We got 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people will watch this video. Also the smartest within the crypto YouTube space and the on the chain family. They know stuff. The thing is your outreach, your circle of influence, you go and you tell more people, hey, you start, once you get, you look at it from a grassroots level. You can only influence so much. You're not going to go up to the top. You're not going to go to Gary Gensler and influence him. You're not going to go to Elizabeth Warren. You're not going to go to the president. You can reach out to your congressperson. You can get to their staffer. You may or may not have influence, but if you pick up the phone and you call if you're in the US, call your congressional office and talk to the staffer over there and say, hey, what the hell are you guys doing? There's a shit show over there, but here, what are you guys doing on cryptocurrency? Why are you destroying my innovation and my opportunities of success? You might not want to say it like that, but reach out to them and go to your state reps, go to your state Senate, go to your state Congress, your state house. And then that's it. I mean, your circle of influence starts at the ground level with your friends and family and people that you talk to. Say, what, did you guys watch that clown show that was on over there? Did you see what they're talking about? And start educating them, start educating people around you. Then take it to the next level. You never know. You'll reach out to the next superstar that's in your circle of influence and you say, hey, did you see what happened over there on that? And all of a sudden that person's running for office, or that person is just like got a fire lit under them. That's how it works. That's how the people rise up and say enough's enough.
Up, people. Rise up.
Educate yourselves and those around you.
Jeff, I want to put this up. So Solana ran into some problems. Okay. Yep. Solana had the blocks went down, the validators went down. And Reza Bashar put out this brilliant tweet right here. And we've actually had Reza on the show early days. He's the chief tech officer at Coinfield, but he's also the co-creator and tech lead over at Sologenic. And they also just spun up that decentralized exchange that runs off the XRPL. So he said yesterday Solana blockchain was halted by the validators controlled by their development team. Are you paying attention here? Their development team controls the validators. If tomorrow Ripple deliberately wanted to stop the XRPL for whatever reason, they can't. Other validators run by the community are capable of running the ledger smoothly. Now, this is a absolute brilliant point. There's the XRP scan. There are all the validators right there. I mean, we don't have to go look at them. And then Matt Hamilton, so it said, hey, can we stake XRP? Hamilton said, from Ripple said, not directly on the XRP ledger, but you can on other networks like Kava and Wanchain. So right here points exactly out XRP decentralization. It cannot be stopped. Yet the developers had to stop it for Solana. What does that tell you? It tells me it's not decentralized, Jeff.
Yeah.
And Solana is blowing through the roof. And meanwhile, they went down for about 8 hours today. I don't even know how long it was down for. I know that I got first early word earlier today that it was down. And then I saw a follow-up tweet by Blockworks saying it was still down and they were going to try to restart the validators. Are you kidding me? This is this isn't decentralized. It's not a decentralized asset if the developers control the validator nodes. And this is pointing out brilliantly exactly why the use case for for XRPL. Let's throw this up there.
Sorry.
A tap line. So thank you for that 589. He says, hit the like, share, and tell everybody about On the Chain Live with Jeff and Chip. Thank you so much for that tap line. Appreciate that.
Get your circle of influence. What I said before, tell everybody. Bring one person. Bring one person. Rob McDermott, guys, you know those lemon trees behind you? Not all those apples are oranges. That's what I heard today.
That's what you heard. That's exactly what you heard today, Rob McDermott. That's exactly what you heard.
And then we got Mel G with a brand new T-shirt idea. And Chip, I think you gotta fire this up right away.
Gary's not my daddy.
Gary is not my daddy. That shirt that'll go crazy out of stock. Gary's not my daddy.
Got my little trusty pad right here. I'm writing it down.
Write that down. That's a winner right there. I love that shirt. That's an awesome one. Gary is
Gary's and not my daddy. Thank you for that, Mel G. Really appreciate that one. I could see that big, bold, beautiful head of Gary Gensler, and there with the with the Gary's not my daddy.
Gary's not my daddy.
That was so great. Are you the daddy? No. Then why do you act like it? Why do you have to interject your personal opinions on climate change? And why do you? And he was like, I really like the tie you're wearing today. You know, it's like just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Damien said, hey, +1, educate those around you. We're all connected to the power of 6 or something. Within 6 people we know knows everyone. It's amazing.
No, it's absolutely right. It was what is that? The what is it? The separation of 6. What is that?
Something like, I forget the exact terminology.
Whatever it is, but you're 6 people away from anyone in the world you want to know.
That's it. Everyone.
And then we know everyone, and thank God we all know each other here. So And then thanks for that for Hans Loaded for the merch store. We're gonna get some new merch up there, guys. We'll get it back up there. But I love this. Gary's not my daddy. I love that idea for that. I'm already cooking on an idea right now, man. Oh. Gary's not my daddy, but will anybody want to wear a shirt like that? Gary's not my daddy.
I'll wear it on the show. I'll wear it outside. It'll be hilarious. People are like, what does that even mean? Well,
Ani says, thank you, Chip, Jeff, OTC fan. Much love. Let's take down the clowns. Take down the clowns. That's a good shirt idea, too. Take down the clowns. Down with the clown show. And it is a clown show. But you know what I love about what's happening, Jeff, or what you pointed out before, is that people are rising up. Listen, crypto's bringing us together. You're the daddy of lemon trees. Crypto's bringing us together. And we're tired, right? We work hard. And what we're tired of is the government, who is the minority, trying to always put their thumb in our face and in that finger, you oughta, and we're not taking it anymore. And I love it. And I'm so happy that this crypto community is coming together in a beautiful, beautiful way, as to say, we're done with you guys. So anyway, Jeff, when do we broadcast live?
There's a new drop over here. There is a new drop from Jay, we probably won't have time to cover it because we got like 50 seconds. But James Filan, look at that. The SEC has filed its letter brief regarding the allegedly privileged documents it's withholding from Ripple. The SEC claims that every single document that will be reviewed by Judge Knepper and camera is privileged. And
oh God,
there it is, right there, the SEC letter brief. So we might have to cover that tomorrow.
That was the in-camera review where she was going to go behind. Well, they usually where the judge gets to look at all the stuff, and I don't. It's still going to be up to the Judge Knepper. I mean, they're like what about this? It's privileged. What about this? It's privileged. Oh, it's all privileged now. Okay, is that the way we're playing it? Okay, got you.
It was Barry Shaw. There we go. I went back. So it was Barry that said that. He said, I wrote the comment about what we can do other than be a keyboard warrior. Appreciate that. I live in Sweden and feel, what does that say? And feel small because no one here cares about the SEC. Not in Sweden. You might not care about the SEC over there so much. But you know what? You get onto Twitter. You help educate people. Come on the show right here. Bring up some critical points, and we keep educating ourselves. You never know who you're going to reach out to and influence. So even that brief comment that you put up there was just influencing everybody here that's in the space. So I think that's everyone's doing their part to educate and figure out what we're doing. So appreciate you, Barry. And JV, I want to keep saying J5, but it's JV. JV, the great, good show, fellas. Appreciate
Jay, thanks for tagging us and stuff like that, man. I always appreciate you guys digging stuff up on the internet and then tagging us in it, and we'll throw it on there. We'll give you guys credit too because we appreciate you, and we appreciate you coming in here and giving us your thoughts. I mean, you guys are part of the show too. A lot of times, Jeff and I just talk too much to be able to put too many comments on there, but don't worry, we do review them after the show as well, but we do. Thank you for coming in there because the comments right there. There's a whole show going on during this show. There's the comment show, and then there's the Jeff and Chip show, and
then we got Norseman just threw up Extreme Kicks.com.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's his YouTube channel.
Oh, that's yeah. So I did see So I did see Norseman where you were throwing those freaking axes, dude. That was some serious stuff. That was some good stuff, man.
Norseman does the axe throwing. Man, I think it was
the axe throwing. I think he did like a 300-yarder or something like that. It was insane.
Huh.
Yeah, if I'm thinking of the right one, I don't know, Norseman. I watch so much stuff on YouTube these days, and it's hard to keep them all straight. But I thought that was your channel. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. I thought you did some cool stuff like that.
So this is good stuff, man. So Jim D. Thanks, Chip and Jeff. You two rock with great insights and keeping us in the new evolving crypto culture. That's awesome. Man, Chip, you realize we stream 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you got to read that one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got to read this one. So Devon Steve says, hey, when passing someone else wearing the Gary's Not My Daddy t-shirt, it's a bit like bikers nod to each other. You'd rub your nose like in the hustle. That's awesome, man.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff. It just started cracking me up. I had to throw it out there.
Right. That's awesome. Everyone's here is down with OTC. We got JL, XRP. So, man, Chip, I'll tell you what, those that are in here, we were at 300 tonight. We're getting back. We're getting back into the rhythm. We're getting back into the stride. But if you're brand new here and you haven't done it yet, make sure you hit that red subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up. It's not that hard. It's that little button right there. And if you hit the bell notifier, the algorithm helps us too. But it's cool because 30 minutes before the show, you get notified. Hey, check it out.
We're
streaming live. Coming up in 30 minutes or so. So that's it. Tomorrow's another night, Chip. Tomorrow, another night.
Freedom, guys. Stay good out there. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. You guys know what you need to do. And stand up, revolt, and put your feet down. And if you're in Sweden, you're not small, man. You're supporting this entire universe of crypto, right? We're a global audience here. And although we talk about a lot of US centric stuff and bore you to tears at times, hey, that's just what we have to focus on. We will get through all this stuff. and we will go on to enjoy the beautiful offerings that crypto is going to bring all of us. So anyway, with that being said, Jeff, we are.
You know what? We are out. You know what? I've never been to Sweden.
I've never been to Sweden either, which is weird.
It is weird, and I used to drive a Swedish car.
Well, there you go. Well, that's something.
That's something.
That's something. All right, listen, guys, we're out of here. Chip, Jeff, out. We'll see you tomorrow. See you on the next one. Talk to you. Bye.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.